Picture this. You record a super basic, everyday video clip in your messy bedroom. And then, literally just by asking out loud, you turn that room into a sleek, futuristic city with a massive storm raging right outside the window. No expensive software, no massive rendering farm, just your voice. Welcome to The Explainer, everyone. Today we are diving headfirst into Google's Gemini Omni. And we might just be looking at the exact moment the traditional video editing timeline becomes a thing of the past.
So what if you could edit videos just by talking to them? That right there is the entire core idea driving Gemini Omni. It's this new multimodal AI from Google. And by the way, multimodal really just means it instinctively understands a bunch of different media all at the exact same time. So text, images, audio, video, the whole shebang. You toss it a totally normal video clip, and instead of clicking 100 different buttons, hunting through endless drop-down menus, or messing with keyframes, you just use natural language. You literally just say, hey, make my jacket look like an astronaut suit, or add a thunderstorm. It actually gets the context, and boom, it just does it. We are absolutely witnessing a massive, fundamental shift in how creation even works. Think about the sometimes painful reality of traditional editing, right? You've got the timelines, the super intricate masks, the keyframes, the layers stacking up forever. And look, that approach absolutely gives you precise professional control, for sure. But man, it takes immense skill, a ton of patience, and so much time. But on the flip side, we have this brand new era of conversational editing. You aren't pushing buttons anymore, you're giving creative instructions. It's honestly like being a film director talking to your crew on set. You can just say, make this scene look like a rainy, gritty night, see what it does, and then immediately follow up with, okay, cool, now make the camera movement way more dramatic.
The goal they're going for here is incredibly straightforward. Gemini Omni tries to turn video editing into a conversation. But here's a really important distinction. It's not just spitting out a single random hallucinated clip from a text prompt and calling it a day. For this to actually be a useful tool for real creators, the model has to profoundly understand what we call scene consistency. If you ask it to add rain and make it look cinematic, the AI has to keep the characters, the lighting, and the objects perfectly connected and totally believable from frame to frame as things move around the shot. It has to actually know that a face is still the same face even when a dark shadow passes right over it.
All right, let's move on to Section 1, how Gemini Omni works. Let's take a quick look under the hood and see how this massive conversational workflow actually happens in real time.
It really all comes down to the super highly iterative three-step loop. Step 1, input your media. That could be raw video from your phone, a block of text, or an audio track. Step 2, you give it a natural language prompt asking for a specific change. And then step 3, you review the result and you tweak it. You just keep layering your instructions. So you might start off saying, change the background to a neon cyberpunk city. You review it and then say, okay, now make the rain much heavier. And then finish it off with, actually, let's remove that extra person standing on the left. Every single instruction builds directly on the last one, refining the video step by step without losing the core structure of your shot.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 2, the creativity multiplier. Because this isn't just a neat party trick. It fundamentally shifts the speed of the entire creative process. Seriously, with Omni, you can instantly turn a boring living room into a massive, gorgeous, cinematic set. You can completely change a simple clip's visual style, make it look dreamy or like a horror film or beautifully futuristic. You can drop in elaborate costumes, totally impossible objects, intense weather effects, or seamlessly remix clips you already have. The biggest takeaway you should get from this is the democratization of production value. You literally no longer need a full Hollywood film crew, a massive green screen studio, a costume department, or an entire visual effects team just to test out a really wild idea.
And that right there is the absolute core benefit of this technology. It's moving from, hey, I have an idea, to, oh wow, I can actually see a visual version of it faster than ever before in human history. Prototyping is just incredibly fast now. And why does that matter so much? Because let's be honest, a lot of creative ideas are just bad at first. That is just how the process works. If making a test version of an idea takes days or weeks of your life, you simply aren't going to experiment. But because Omni drastically lowers the cost and the time of trying out those initial bad ideas, it paves the way for wilder, faster experiments for absolutely everyone. We're talking teachers making super engaging visual explanations for their students, all the way to indie filmmakers prototyping complex scenes before they even bother picking up a real camera.
But okay, it is not all just fun, viral clips, and limitless imagination. Let's pivot for a minute to Section 3, the authenticity problem, and ground the hype by looking at the real-world risks here. The exact same power that makes conversational editing so incredibly exciting is what introduces some serious real-world risks.
We're talking about generating hyper-realistic, altered videos of real people. And obviously, that can easily be used to mislead folks, especially when it comes to public figures, elections, or breaking news events. On top of that, there's a really crucial social agreement we need to figure out for remixing. Original creators absolutely must have control over whether their hard work can be completely transformed by someone else without permission. We need consent, we need clear creator attribution, and we need total transparency whenever AI edits are deployed. It's a really complex balancing act between keeping creativity open and, well, protecting reality.
Ultimately, the future of AI video depends on two things. Better generation, sure, but also much better trust signals. Things like digital watermarking, baked-in content credentials, and highly visible remix labels. And listen, these aren't just boring corporate buzzwords. They are essential, absolutely necessary tools for viewers to navigate the modern internet safely. We need to be able to instantly understand when an AI was involved in making something and exactly where a remixed clip originally came from, so a perfectly convincing fake doesn't spread like wildfire as truth.
We also need a quick reality check on the current state of the tech itself, because Omni is still a very imperfect visual assistant. You are absolutely still going to get weird-looking hands with 6 fingers, really unnatural physical motion, objects that just randomly disappear into thin air, and faces that drift and warp awkwardly between frames. Plus, just typing out or speaking a prompt does not give you the exact, precise frame-by-frame control of a professional human editor working in a traditional timeline. So we are definitely not replacing expert editing and high-end, serious workflows quite yet.
All right, to wrap up this explainer, let's zoom out to what all this means for the internet at large. Let's jump into Section 4, AI as your co-director. Gemini Omni is part of this massive shift where the computer isn't just answering your search questions anymore, it's actively helping you build stories. The screen is becoming a place for instant imagination. And because of that, the creative bottleneck is completely shifting. It's moving away from technical execution and landing squarely on taste, judgment, and originality. Think about it. When everyone has the power to make literally anything instantly, the real challenge for creators is no longer, can I physically make this? It's what version of this idea is actually compelling enough to try first. It is an incredibly exciting and honestly somewhat chaotic future. Some videos are going to be absolute masterpieces, and some are going to look like a robot drank 3 cups of coffee and tried to become a Hollywood director in 5 minutes. But that's exactly why it's so fascinating. AI just keeps surprising us. As these tools get smarter, the real question isn't what the AI can create. It's what you are going to ask it to create next. So are you ready for your new co-director? If you want to be surprised with AI daily, comment, share, and subscribe before the algorithm learns how to do all 3 and asks for its own YouTube channel. Thanks for learning with me today, and I'll see you on the next explainer.